Here with Breadman Edwards. What's good, man?
Hey, how you doing, man?
All right, Julian Williams, Jason Rosario. What's your thoughts?
I think it's going to be a good fight. Looking forward to it.
All right. You had to fight with Jared here. You unified the division first time out, right? What's the plan at 154?
Unifying, defending the title a couple more times, and then moving up. But we would like to unify and become the Ring Magazine champion if it's possible, and then move up.
Is that automatic with a Charlo victory, or do you have to beat Teixeira too?
You know what? I want to take one fight at a time. Jason Rosario is coming to fight, so ask me this on January 18th after the fight, and then we can talk about that kind of stuff. We can't take a guy like this lightly. You know, he's coming to our hometown. He's been ready for the fight. He's a good fighter, so I don't want to disrespect him and start talking about other opponents while we get ready for him.
Okay. What does Rosario bring to the table that made you choose this fight?
I didn't really. I mean, a fight is a fight. At this level, everybody can fight. But he's a good-looking dude. He can punch. He's just a good fighter. You know, he got a lot of the same characteristics as Hurd and Charlo. He's big, strong. You know, it's a good fight. You know, we thought we was going to be fighting Hurd, so we got like a guy that's kind of like Hurd. You know what I mean? Because we didn't know Hurd was pulling out of the fight.
I thought that Hurd was, after he pulled out, I thought he was going to move to 160. Are you shocked that he stayed at 154?
No, that's his business. I really don't care what he does. That don't have nothing to do with us. You know what I'm saying? Whatever he does, I wish him the best of luck. He's a good fighter. Fighters say things sometimes and then he changed their mind and do this and do that. It's boxing, you know what I mean? It doesn't mean that he wasn't being genuine. Sometimes people have a right to change their mind. So he's a competitor. He wants to fight Julian again and get it back. So I expect that.
There was another fight that happened in the division probably like a couple weeks ago. Tony Harrison versus Jermell Charlo. What'd you think of that fight?
That was a great fight. They was bumping. That was a good fight. I was impressed with both of them.
Did you agree with the stoppage?
A lot of guys been getting hurt lately, so I'm not going to complain too much. Only thing that looked weird to me was they let the other kid on the undercard fight. Like, they gave him every chance in the world, and they didn't give Tony the same chances, you know, and Tony was the champion. The kid was like a 6 or 8 round fighter. I can't remember his name. Balderas was his name. But they let him get up. He wobbled. The referee told him to step forward. He wobbled back, and they let him get more chances than Tony. But other than that, you know, it's boxing. Charlo was smelling blood. He probably would have stopped him anyway, so it's whatever, you know. It's not really my fight to fight.
J-Rock was talking about Rosario's ambition, and that he sees that he's got a lot of drive in him. He was talking about as well how he likes to stay humble and not, you know, he's a world champion now, but he's got more that he wants to achieve in his career. Is that one of the reasons why that you saw also in Rosario, his hunger, that you said you didn't want him to be a sparring partner?
No, Julian nixed him as a sparring partner, not me. I didn't. I was going to hire him. And Julian was like, man, that dude might want to fight me.
Yeah,
and then I was like, I just nixed it. It was like, you know what? Then we won't get him then. Because I felt as though he brought some of the same thing to the table as Hurd did. So I was like, you know what? Let us get this kid. And Joe was like, you know what, man, Steve, that dude gonna want to fight one day. Don't hire him. And I was like, all right. It just turned out he wanted to fight.
Do you think that really does make like a difference? Because I remember the reports back in the day that it was Sean Porter who didn't really want to spar with Manny Pacquiao a lot because he knew one day that he possibly could get in the ring.
To each his own. You know, they never fought. But when you're talking about a fight that's right on the horizon with Rosario and Julian, there's a difference. Sean and Manny never fought.
Right, but no, I'm saying that's why Sean said that he didn't want to go into sparring.
It's a possibility. You know what I mean? Every
that was like 10 years ago.
Every situation is different. If you're the guy on the bottom, you want the sparring. If you're the guy on the top, you don't want the sparring. That's how I look at it. So Manny probably didn't. Manny has a happy-go-lucky attitude, but the guy that's climbing up, in my opinion, they're going to want to work because they got more to work for. They got a longer time because they're behind you, so they're working harder to get where you got to get. So they know all the answers to the test. Then it's a little bit different if you're the champion because you got more choices when you're the champion.
Right. I saw Christopher Brooker is in here. He's been working with you guys in the camp.
Yeah.
Giving you work. What's it like for J-Rock as a champion? I listen to Boots, and he's always talking about how he's getting a tough time, not only with opponents, but with even other Philly fighters. I know they've worked together in the past, but what's it like for him, though, as the champion now, the guy on top, trying to get that
We
type
can
of
get
work?
sparring because we pay for it. You know, Boots is a great fighter,
Right.
and Boots would knock you out in the gym, and he may not. I don't know what his budget is, but he can't afford to pay the way Julian paid. You know what I mean? Once Boots become a world champion, because he's going to become a champion, he can pay these guys a lot of money. He'll get sparring, you know what I mean? If you pay enough, people will spar you, you know what I mean? But nobody wants to get beat up and embarrassed for free. Boots is a phenomenal talent, you know what I mean? So who wants to go get brain damage for free? You know what I mean? If you're going to do it, you want to get paid for it. So that's probably what his dilemma is. But him and his pop, I got a lot of love for him. That's my man.
How did you get your start in boxing?
I used to actually box down here when he first opened the gym, and then I went away and you know, did some things on my own, and then I always wanted to get back into it. I didn't fight professional or nothing like that, but just stayed in good shape and just sparred guys. You said Mac, Robert Hines and stuff like that, and then a few years later, maybe like 2007-ish. I met Julian, we started talking. Around 2009, he asked me to start helping him out.
You were one of us, weren't you?
I used to do that with my man Greg. I did a little piece for him, but it wasn't no big deal. It wasn't that serious.
How many fighters do you have currently?
5.
All professional or a mixture between
All
amateur?
professional.
All professional. You don't do amateurs?
I decided to do them. That's just what I have right now.
Yeah, so if the right kid comes along,
Sure. I mean, every professional was an amateur at one time.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
you know how some trainers get some.
Nah,
at
if
times
I see
they-
potential in the kid, it don't matter if he's a pro or professional or amateur. It don't matter to me.
Yeah, I've seen you at the club shows too, working with guys. You know, on the way out and all
Yeah.
that,
I
so
got
it's
a
not
kid
like
that's
a-
3-0.
Okay.
So I don't.
What's his name?
Romeo.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know. All right.
So it don't matter if I think that you got potential to be a world champion, I'll train you. Just that simple.
When's the last time that y'all fought in Philly?
Julian.
Julian, you know, along with you being in the camp.
My local kids, they fight all the time in Philly. They never fought anywhere but Philly. Julian hasn't fought in Philly in since maybe like 2011.
Do you feel added pressure?
No, because I think pressure is a good thing. Because if people don't expect anything out of you, then there's no pressure. Nobody expects the guy that averages 2 points a game to do anything. So with the pressure, people look at him in a certain kind of way, so they expect him to perform. So I never look at pressure as a bad thing, because if people have high expectations of you, then there's going to be just a built-in pressure. They look for you to do something good. If you look at it as a club fighter or a journeyman, there is no pressure. So if you don't have any pressure on you, then that means people's perception of you is low. So I don't really look at it in that kind of aspect.
Now, J-Rock was saying, and we touched on that earlier, how he's trying to stay humble and reach his goals and so forth, and not just be satisfied with all that he's accomplished already. But I know that in past training camps that I've been in, like Miguel Cotto, when he made that transition into world title, there was like a confidence that came with it. And then especially after like the Shea Mosley fight in 07, he went from being someone who you saw as like a pound for pound type to, okay, this guy's like the upper elite echelon. Have you seen that transformation in J-Rock yet?
I saw the transformation actually the last camp. The last camp, I was like, wow, he's really, really putting guys in their place in the gym. And it's kind of just carried over throughout this whole camp and whatever. He's been a lot sharper, a lot more. He just raised his game up.
Yeah.
So whatever he was before the last camp, he's 10% better now.
And that was pre, that's on
The
the way
camp
to
going
the
into
championship.
her.
So do you think it's one of those situations with that experience with Charlo where sometimes in losing you win type of thing in life?
It could be, or maybe he's just hitting his peak. I just think he's probably just hitting his peak right now. He's 29. Sometimes it's just like that. It's the prime time. It's stronger, more mature, and that just show up in the ring sometimes. He just got better since then.
Yeah, and I mean, I always have this debate with Angel, Danny's dad. You know, he's kind of, what is he, like 31 now? So, but the lack of activity in the ring, like you said, it's prime time now for J-Rock. He's 29. Do you see you guys being more active? I say like
If it's up to me,
sometimes it's 1 or 2 a year.
You know, you really can't control that. A lot of times, man, the guys in the media, they get frustrated. They don't understand the business side of boxing. If I could fight him,
not just media, fans.
I mean, you know, yeah, but the media
so
sometimes
be that bridge right now. Let the fans know.
They don't.
What is it?
A budget is put out.
Okay.
And you only going to make with so much money because your contract states what it states. So when a network pays for a certain amount of bouts or they have a certain amount of money put to the side, you're not going to make $5 million 3-4 times a year anymore.
Yeah.
So people don't understand that and they get mad and they start saying, well, this guy and that guy is ducking. They don't understand. Do you really think the more you fight, the more money you make? You really think that he got 2 kids? You know what I mean? He wants to be a gazillionaire. The more he fight, the more money he makes. Do you really think he don't want to fight? It's not his fault if he don't fight. We call all the time, yo, we ready to go. It's just the way that the system is set up. For at the championship level, you fight 2 times a year. And the people get frustrated, but they don't understand. I would love for him to fight 3-4 times a year. But you can't. Once you start making a certain amount of money and you get into that high 6-figure category, you can't do it no more. It's not up to me. It's just the way the structure of boxing is right now.
What about this? So you're saying the days of taking less just to stay active,
that's
you're not
going
to do it because you already reached a certain
and then you'll blow
bracket.
a fight. Then what are you going to do? You'll blow a fight. So what are we going to do? Fight in January against, okay, for example, okay, we signed to fight the winner of Charlo Harrison, right, this summer. So we're fighting in January. So what are we going to do? Take a fight in March just to warm up? We can spar for that. You want to blow millions of dollars just to be in the ring so people don't complain that you're not fighting more? It's not, you know, it's tough.
Economics have changed.
Yes, it's just tough. I would love to fight more. If he can get paid to fight in April, good money, sure, but we can't chance a unification match.
Yeah.
What are we going to do? You know, you're just in a tough situation.
You made a Facebook post about fighters signing over their future purses with management based off of upfront money. Can you touch on that a little bit?
Just that a lot of fighters, they don't have money going into boxing and they don't really have a lot of finances and they want to have time to train. So what they do is they take money from people, and it don't have to be nobody involved in boxing. It'll just be somebody that's a business owner, and they'll take money, and then that person wants their money back. It's an investment. So you'll give a fighter $5,000 or $10,000, and they'll take 33% from the fighter. The person has a right to want their money back, but then the fighter is getting robbed. So in Julian's situation, I never let him do that. When he turned pro, he just struggled. If he needed help, I help him. But I wasn't going to spoil him, and I wasn't going to let him take a bunch of money from people and then have to owe somebody 40% to 40% of his purse. And then when he do go make big money, he's coming home with no money. So now, the way everything is set up, he comes home with a lot of his money because he never took money up front. And it's nobody's fault, but it's the fighter's responsibility to not sell his contract down the drain for a small investment. Because if you turn out good, that $5 or $10,000 is no money.
Short term versus long term.
Yeah, it's no money. You're talking about 33%. Could you imagine giving somebody $5,000 and you get 33% of $1 million purse? That wouldn't make any sense. But it happens all the time in boxing. Yeah. So you gotta just
in the city.
I mean, you know what? That's their business. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm not trying to say me and Julian are perfect, but that's their business. I just don't understand why guys do that with their business structure. It doesn't make sense to me. There's nowhere in any. I don't care if you're selling dope. Nowhere you can put up $5 or $10,000 and make 6 figures. But in boxing, it happens all the time because the fighters just they
Up the rights. Yeah.
small, that instant gratification of paying their rent for 2 or 3 months makes them want to take money, and they don't care about what's going to happen in the future. And I just think that that's crazy. And with him, we just struggled. I got him jobs. I gave him money.
They don't want to work besides just fighting.
So she worked construction for $100 a day.
Yeah.
Give him a little bit of money. You know what I mean? Pay his rent. He got paid me back. But here's the thing. We was getting him fights.
Yeah.
So he was fighting. He was earning money. It wasn't a lot, but he was making money. And every fight you go up, $1,500, $2,000, $2,500, $3,000, and then you're moving up. And then eventually you never needed no money from me no more.
Yeah. And then you can stop working construction.
I mean, that's what he said, right?
That's what he said. I mean,
We're cool. I mean, I try not to get involved in his personal life too much. But when you're around somebody every day, you kind of get in their personal life. You know what I'm saying? It's hard not to. So I like, if he buy a house, I'd be like, that's a good property. Or sometimes he mess up. But you know the cool thing? He got the money to make up for all his mistakes. You know what I'm saying?
very real with him. Is anything you told him about the relationship?
No, I tell him if he messing up, you know. I'm not afraid for him to fire me if that's what's going to be. You know what I mean? I'm not afraid. I understand that's how it goes, but I'm always honest with him. We got mutual respect. I'm 14 years older than him, so I done seen a lot of things before he's seen it. You know, and he's doing great. You know, I tell him to invest in stocks and do it. He got a big life insurance policy for his children. He has about, Jewel, how many houses you got now? About 6? See, you can't count me out.
He's not worried about that, right?
Got a lot of money in the bank, so I mean, he listens. You know, he don't listen to everything, but he listens.
Yeah.
And
He said you guys sometimes you guys together, sometimes just having that.
we don't really butt heads about personal things. You know, like he bought a house one time, and I told him that the house wasn't no good. He bought it anyway, and then he sold it. But we don't argue about that because I'm not gonna argue with him about his personal life. He has that's his dad right there, so he has a father. So I don't do all of that. In boxing, we might butt heads because I want him to keep his weight down and things like that. But as far as his personal life, I'll just give him my opinion. Like, yo, you should buy this stock or buy this bond. And then if he buys it, he buys it. And if he don't, he don't. I'm not going to fight over that because he's grown.
But
You know what I mean?
speak a little bit about that then, because you kind of did already, but just kind of marrying those two things, his questions together. What we were talking about for fighters who might be listening to this, right, and they're on their way up, where they go with their future and how they handle their money. You already mentioned like not signing deals with just any business partner who's going to give you upfront money. But then once you do make that transition, like you said with J-Rock right now, he's buying properties, they're investing his money well. There's a learning process there, like you kind of you alluded to. Just talk a little bit about that, because you both, I mean, it's not just him, you guys have gone up the ranks together.
We just, like, he told me that he wanted to invest in real estate because I had a lot of real estate when I started training him. So I said, all right, when you finally make some money, I'm going to show you how to do it.
Right.
So when he started making some money, about 2014 is when he first got his 6-figure purchase. So he started buying. Sometimes he would buy make a good deal, sometimes he wouldn't. So then I told him, you know, you got to diversify a little bit, put a little bit of money in stocks. You don't want to put everything in real estate. So he started doing that. And then he had his first child, and I said, you got to have a life insurance for your kid. So people don't like to think about life insurance when they're 25, 26 years old, but it's important. Who wants to die and have your family setting up a GoFundMe? It happens all the time. So I set him up a good life insurance policy for his children. And then,
Do you think, like, him having that willingness to even come to you and say, like, all right, now I'm getting the money, I'm going to avoid the trappings of getting that money and then taking out advances without,
well, see, here's the
maybe
thing.
owing them because I buy a piece of jewelry. You know where I'm going with this.
but let me just tell
Do
you
you
this.
think that's all from the beginning when he had to work construction and do $100?
Yes, but I think it's his personality also. Because I'm going to tell you what one of his fears is, and that's having to work after boxing. Who wants to spend all his time in boxing, they have to get a 9-to-5 job? So that was a fear of his. So he's paranoid about that. He don't want to have to work after boxing. He's 29 right now. we're going to retire him at 35. He's done. He's not going to be taking no punches at 40 and 50 years old. So we gonna retire him after when he's 35 years old.
I hear that all the time.
So he's
Burn
going
my gloves at 35, but you know as well as I know.
We'll see.
That sometimes when you get to 35, those checks
We'll see.
are on a different tax bracket.
We'll see.
All right, fair enough. At least you're honest.
That's what my goal is.
Thanks, Brad. I appreciate it. Listen and shout out to one of my sponsors, Mybookie.ag, best gambling website there is. Mybookie.ag. Click the link in the description box. You will not be disappointed.